about y'all, man. I don't know, man. What's up, people? Man, y'all tuned in? Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. We live in the house. We doing it on a Friday night, man. What's up, people? We're on X. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, of course. You got to be on YouTube. Got to be everywhere right now, man. It's important, man, that people get the word. You know what I'm saying? What's up, people? Shout out to the people that support the Tim Black Show. But first, let me acknowledge my moderator, Black Mamba, in the house, y'all. Yeah. How are you, Black Mamba? How's it going? Oh, you okay? Oh, you all right? Thank you for doing the truth tellers work. I want to say what's up to the Tim Black Wolfpack that's in the building. What's up, Wolfpack? What is up, Wolfpack? How's everybody, man? How's everybody? I've been doing pretty good. I haven't been needing a buzzer in a while. Been a little tame there, Tim Black. No buzzer needed. What's going on, Tim? You all right? So, man, I want to say what's up to my people, man. Who's in the house, man? Check this comment section. Make sure we even on live. Are we live in this thing? Yo, man. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Tim Black mug, the Tim Black Legacy mug specifically. Politics for the people. It's only politics that matters. Not the politics for the parties. Not the politics for the corporations. Politics for the people. Go to Tim Black Mug and get your mug, $20 to your door, Johnson. Yeah, $20 to your door, dishwasher, microwave, and hater safe. There it is, Johnson. Thank you, Black Mama, for that. And we're in the building, man. I got Skeptical Jerk in here doing work. Tobias Grove, Waggy, James Allen, Kat Negrita, Tay Diggs, Crom is here. These people came through, man. They came through anyway, no matter what crazy stuff I said. Arlene Chambers is in the house. Thank you, Arlene. C. Pinta. C. Pinta's in the building. Bodista's in the building. Yeah. David's in the building. David Melford, what's up, fam? If there's a David Melford, there's got to be a Nigel somewhere lurking. What's up, Galaxy Raver? Yeah, okay. You know what it is. You know what it is. Sherry's in the house as well as Sitting in Silence. Sitting in Silence, that's a new one. I like that, Sitting in Silence. Some of us need to do that more often, man. Get grounded. Get grounded. Okay. Be quiet, Cyrus. Serious, whatever it is. Serious. Who else is in the building, man? I'm scrolling, seeing if I can find people. Shout it out if you need it. Say something. Zenful, Zen Soulful, Chris LaFrance. What's up, Chris? We got Anthony McDowell, Trust No Party. Bruce Newsom. Thank you, Bruce. I saw Bruce is over there on Facebook, man. Give it up for Bruce on Facebook, man. Yeah, man, it's rare that we got people on Facebook, man. We got Aileen Dorsett on the board off the break. Thank you, Aileen Dorsett. Sending love. Is that Canadian? Yo, that's crazy, man. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you so much for supporting the show, Elaine. And when we get to Super, let's get to her now since I'm saying it. Elaine is in the house. She's in the building. Thank you, Elaine. As well as the Black Mamba supporting us at timblackmug.com. Trying to keep the lights on around this joint. I thank you. I thank you. Man, what is happening, people? Where my people at, man? Where's everybody? Where my people at? Y'all good? Man, get on in here. Stop playing. Get on in here. Get on in here before we gotta get fit and get going. Fit and go. So check this out, y'all, man. There's a lot going on. Tonight's madness, lies, guns, Biden, and breakdown. Man, I had so many topics. I was like, I just need to just combine it all because it won't fit. It won't. It's just too many topics, man. Tonight's going to be a good night, though, man, because I'm going to be dropping some bombs. I'm going to be enlightening some people. Hopefully, some people, the house lights will start cutting on, you know? You know what I'm saying? I want to cut the lights on in the house for a couple people, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that we can do that tonight. May I be given the grace to be a vessel for the truth tonight. You know what I'm saying? See, you know, I gotta recognize I ain't just a news reporter, but I'm worried about all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Rachel Maddow and Anderson Cooper. I don't think that's what they say about themselves or to themselves before a show. Let me be a vessel for truth. I think Anderson's saying stuff like, may those bodies not pop up. May that cocaine, may that, you know, money keep coming the way it's coming in doubles and bubbles. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that I don't think the average newscaster, you know, cable news person, I don't think they before the show, they'd be like, may I be a vessel for truth and justice. You know, they talk like they do, though. When they get all self-righteous and indignant and mad at Trump for calling them fake news, they're like, well, hold up a second. We speak the truth. We are enlightening the people. This content was brought to you by the big pharmaceuticals and big mega, big fat and pharma, big pharmaceuticals and warfare and guns and bombs and the military industrial complex that brought this to you. That's really like, you know how they do like the doctors and when they sell medicines, they got to put that. You know, the cable network should have to have like the advertisements. They should have that words they got to put the end. All their segments. That'd be the same way. Yeah, that would be cool, man. You understand what I'm saying? Because all those people, man, they get paid, man, by what pays their salary is the donations and supporting the advertising of big pharmaceuticals, big ag, agriculture, putting all the hormones in our food and stuff. The private prisons. We gotta have them. And the military industrial complex that makes the bombs, Johnson. That's really how we put the butts in the seats. And I don't think everybody gets it, man. I think some people just walking around just delusional. So tonight's gonna be an eye-opening show. Man, what is up, JD? JD in the house. Catherine, how you doing? I see you, Catherine. Good to have you here tonight. Jesse, what's up? How you doing, fam? All right. Lou Maldonado's in the building. Respect. Respect. Yo, man. Yes, it's Canadian. It's just I was thinking about covering a Canadian topic. And that's what makes me like, yo, it's just wild that you would, you know, choose to watch tonight and also choose to give a super chat. And I just so happen to have a story that's Canadian, and I guess I will do it. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Spice Radio 504 in the building? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's, yeah. That's why it's ironic. Sometimes things line up that way. I'm not going to say, yeah, I'm just saying it's kind of crazy. You guys, so if you're on X or if you're on Facebook, man, please share this show. Come on, Skip. Come on, Skip. Share the show, Skip. Share the show on your platform. Let people know you're watching the show. Shout out to my people on X, my people on Facebook, man. Come on now. Let's work together. Yeah, we got to work together for the cause, y'all. That's what time it is, man. B1, stand up. B1, stand up. Well, Tim, you got a lot of content. You better get to it, brother, because this is crazy. What you got going on here is a lot of stuff, sir. Are you sure you're going to be okay? Are you sure you're going to be all right, Tim? Got a lot happening, fam. I mean, I heard that. I know it's a Friday night, man, but, I'm going to go ahead and shoot the goal. I know it's Friday. People out doing stuff. They're going to the movies. Look, hit the like button. We're trying to get to 400 likes. Who am I faking? Let's say 300, please. Go ahead, cut that off. Let's cut 100 off the top. Let's see if we can get to 300 likes on a Friday night. It ain't easy, but we don't, we don't scare. We don't scare easy either. So let's go ahead and go for 300. Survey says, all right, let's go, baby. Let's party like it's let's party like it's 2025. All right, people. So, first thing I want to do is I want to update people to a story that I covered yesterday regarding Michael Bosworth Jr. Now, Michael Bosworth is a story that as was reported yesterday. I was skeptical then, but it was in Spotsylvania, Virginia, where a homeowner, well, the occupant, I don't know if he owns the home, but the homeowner, occupant, shot some teenagers that were on his property. And he called 911 and said somebody's trying to break in my house. So one of the teens, unfortunately, did pass away. One teen was wounded. The other one was unhurt. And now it's been reported that, it was reported that, this homeowner was being charged. I think he was being charged. And that's how we reported. We played a news clip about the situation. One of our YouTube people, man, one of the Tim Black Wolfpack was like, yo, Tim, you got to cover the story. I think they came late. They didn't know I'd already covered it. It was like my opening story. Here's the thing. I didn't know the man's name. I know his name was Michael Bosworth Jr. Well, we got an update for that story. Hold tight.
High school prom later that night, Michael was shot and killed by a homeowner on Mackenzie Lane. The homeowner, who has not been named nor charged with any crime, said,
damn, guys, I screwed up. Here we go. Michael Bosworth is the white kid that got shot. His name was released, so this is a little bit older. His name, he's got two first names, Tyler something. Then since then, his name has come out. So I'm getting conflicting reports, but this is older. Here goes something that's important here, guys. And let me just put that in the mix. Check this out.
3 a.m. Saturday, just hours before the high school prom later that night, Michael was shot and killed by a homeowner on Mackenzie Lane. The homeowner, who has not been named nor charged with any crime, says Michael and two other teens tried to break into their house. News 4 knocked on the door of the home, but no one answered. Tonight, the Spotsylvania County Commonwealth's attorney is reviewing the evidence to determine if charges are appropriate or if this was a justifiable shooting.
Now, I did hit on this, but I kind of want to be clear, guys. I don't know exactly what took place here, and I was hoping, I ended last night's segment saying, yo, I hope they got some ring footage because I really don't know what happened here. And I'm not getting any definitive information. Now, but I'm getting more and more rumors that say, yo, these kids try to kick in his door at 3 a.m. And then they later said, oh, well, we was just playing. So I'm getting the knock and run, the knock and dodge, a ditch. I'm getting this as it's possible that could just be an excuse for getting caught. It's possible that that's not true. It's what people are telling me. You know what I'm saying? So look, but I got no way to corroborate it right now. Corroborate. I can't corroborate, right? I don't have any evidence either way. I'm getting rumors, I'm getting talk, news reports reporting one thing. So let's keep our, ears to the ground. Let's pay attention. I like using on a story like this, you can use your intuition a bit. I'm wondering why you're knocking on doors at 3 a.m. That's a good time to break into somebody's house. 3 a.m.? Like, because you knock on doors at a time when people might answer the door. That was the whole purpose. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid anyway, I don't know. You're like, I'm old. When I was coming up, we didn't even have, doors. But yeah, my point is like, if you're knocking on doors and running at 3, that's crazy. I didn't realize it was 3 in the morning. Now, if you did it like 8 o'clock, someone sitting at the dinner table, eating their pork chop and applesauce, mashed potatoes, cornbread. I'm sorry, there's smothered chops, mashed potatoes, applesauce, or mac and cheese. Naming all these foods you ain't supposed to eat. I try not to eat pork, man. I stay away from the swine. No, what I'm saying is, you gotta get up on the table, go to the door, and there ain't nobody out there. That's enough to tick you off. You know what I'm saying? But if you do it at 3 in the morning and you jar people out of their sleep, and it's a prank. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. But I just kind of want to be for the record because I want to be as accurate as possible. I still believe this sounds fishy. It sounds fishier than an open case of sardines on an August day in DC where it's all humid, baby. That ain't gonna make it. And I don't know what happened, but it does sound fishy, and I'm not buying these events, the story. I don't know how Spotsylvania rolls, but let's hope some truth is exchanged at some point. Let's hope we find out more. Now we'll update you if things change in that story. But like I said, if they weren't playing, like even if they were pranking, it's stupid. But I want to see what happens. All right, so stay tuned, Johnson. Stay tuned for that. Next, we got over here. We got media assets. What we got?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Okay, there was a lot of talk today about Draymond Green. Yeah, Draymond Green made a comment that's kind of going viral. A lot of people are talking about it, and I just want to, kind of chime in a little bit. They were saying that, let's listen to what he says first, Tim.
Angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful. Look like the angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family. And I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Okay. This comment by Draymond Green is like circulating. It's causing a lot of people having conversations. And this is good because we need to have conversations. I like when we're talking. I just don't like when we actually have to go to, have to fight it out. So yeah, we could talk about it all day. Good. Let's have a conversation. Now, I don't follow Draymond like that, but I've heard 2 arguments already off the top, and one of them is, hey, Draymond's kind of a dirty player. Yeah, he gets into fights with people. I'm seeing clips of him hitting people on the court, stepping on people, like doing things that are like out of character for anybody. White, black, Latino, Asian, Native American, more like somebody boxing. You know what I'm saying? Or like, street. I don't even know which street you could do this stuff. But so that's one side of it, right? The clips I saw, I'm thinking anybody could put a compilation of someone, I don't know how many games he's played, but let's say he's played 100 games. And I'm probably, they play a lot more than that. I think he's like in his 5th year. I don't know how many years he's been in the league. I think they play 50 games a year. So he's played 200 games, and they do a compilation of like 6 things he's done in those 5 years or whatever. That's a very low percentage. Okay, so that could be what he's referring to. Like, okay, yeah, I did that stuff. That was me. But how many times I didn't do that stuff? Let's keep that in mind. I ain't always doing that stuff. So, okay, so that's one side of it. The other side is they're saying, well, and this is the side a lot more of the liberals are coming up. They're like, you know what, man? It's a black man. As a black man, I know exactly what it is to be angry. And you can't be angry because if you're black and you're angry, you get called the angry black man. But if you're a white guy and you get angry, they call you passionate. What a competitor. When I was a kid, John McEnroe, I was a kid watching my mom liked tennis sometimes because she used to get exercise going to the tennis court. So I went with her a couple times. And I remember seeing this white guy slam and break his tennis racket. Like, this guy's got an attitude problem. But not to them. He was just a passionate tennis player. I was thinking, I wonder if, I never thought that then. I was a little kid, but I just noticed that it was like, kind of like applauded, like in a way. He was the spunky jackass who yelled at refs and broke his racket. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm just saying, I just remember it not being a big deal. Like, it didn't stop him from playing. Now, I know breaking a racket on the ground ain't the same as breaking a racket upside somebody's head. Maybe if he broke his racket on someone's skull, maybe it'd have been a different story. All I'm trying to say is, how long we been in America and not know there may be some double standards when it comes to some things. That's true. Here's the deal. Some brothers are leaning in a tad bit far on Draymond getting... They're like superimposing their own experiences and everything that they've ever been through and saying, yeah, I know what it's like, man. Anytime I get mad and punch people in the mouth, people call me angry too. Well, you were. I think that's why you punch somebody in the mouth, right? So there's a thin line, right? There's a line between, yeah, man, people gonna label you stuff. And there's a line between that and if you black, you black, and people gonna say stuff, and we know they're not gonna look at us the same, because we aren't the same, and Americans never treated us the same. No matter what they tell you stuff. I just see people. The biggest bigot in the world will say something like, "I don't even see color." Sitting there with all their clothes matching. Like, how you pick out your clothes today if you don't see color, sir? That's crazy. So we know we live in that. But there's the other thing to it, right, that I was thinking about. And that was, what about the fact that we got to kind of watch how we roll? Like if you acting like an ass, don't just put that on black people, because not all black people act like asses. You know what I'm saying? Take Will Smith and Chris Rock, for instance. They both black. Yeah, they both black, and they both near the same age. Both, you know what I'm saying? Not that age has anything to do with it, but I'm just kind of setting it up. And one was the hitter and the other was the hitty. You know what I'm saying? And which one? That was blackness. One brother composed, the other brother lost his mind for a second. Allegedly. People say he didn't, Some people say, it's all calculated, Tim. Oh, Tim, you brought that. Oh, God. Oh, God, Tim, I can't believe you brought it in that. I thought you were smarter than that, Tim. You believed what you saw. Get that all the time, man, no matter what it is. But I want to just point out that these are two brothers, and they act totally different. They were both on one of the biggest stages in the world, the Oscars, being nationally televised live. And one got violent, and the other chose not to get violent. And that's it. Yeah, and to me, they both acted black. You get what I'm saying? They were both black in that moment, because blackness is striking out, having enough, being fed up, and making a stand, and taking a stand, and being passionate and doing, and saying, you know what? Bam. And black is also being passionate, being contained, being passionately contained and committed to not being a spectacle, to controlling your emotions. These are both things that are present in all men, in all people, no matter what color they are, no matter where they come from. It exists in us all. So while people are talking about this, I just want them to remember, we got two brothers that we all know, they're known the world over, and we saw them display something. And so what is black and what is not black, and what is angry black man and what is not angry black man? So, we won't really be this country, this world where we're all looked at the same until we start looking at each other the same. You know what I'm saying? We don't look at ourselves the same as having the full run of emotions like all other groups have. We should be able to have that, okay? And you should be able to act the way you act, and you should be judged based on those actions. Because there is no certain way to act. Humans act all kinds of ways based on all types of emotions, stimuli, situations, what have you. So as far as the story, is Draymond Green, whenever he acts out of character, is he being the angry black man? Are people painting him the angry black man? Some probably are. But at the end of the day, it's about you. What are you doing, Draymond Green? How do you see yourself? You say you see yourself as an intelligent man. All of us are worthy of criticism. You're a public figure, so walk it off. You're making millions, you'll be good. But the broader conversation is, let's not confine blackness to a certain way of acting, because it's bigger than that, right? Let us free. That's what let us free meant, right? All right, guys, give it up for that segment. I think it's important. Where we go? What we got next? Let's keep it moving. Oh, here we go. Check this out.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Your boy Joe Biden appeared on The View yesterday, and it was fun. Man, Joe came on The View with Jill Biden, and Joe had a couple things to say, but most of the interview was controlled by Jill Biden. Well, now we got the fallout from that Joe Biden appearance, and it is crazy, man. All types of things are coming out. People are saying making all types of points. I did a video on it, and it did pretty well. It's still going. We'll see what it does. Some people say it was some of my best work. I want you to check it out when you get time. Joe Biden. Let's do this. On The View. Let's check out some of the fallout from the Joe Biden appearance on The View, or show the Biden Incorporated performance, the Biden family appearance, because this wasn't just about Joe, it was also about Jill.
The table for President Biden's interview on The View, CNN political commentator and View co-host Alyssa Farah-Griffin. Alyssa, congratulations on the interview. You asked President Biden a number of tough questions, and I want to talk about those in more detail. But first, what was your general impression of President Biden, what you heard from him, how he spoke, et cetera?
Listen, this is the second time I've interviewed President Biden now, and the one thing that really struck me from the moment he got to the table was he and his team are clearly very aware that his legacy is being written right now, and they feel and have this strong sense that they need to fight back and shape the narrative. He immediately got into rattling off accomplishments from his term in office, and I think it's in breaking with a lot of past precedent from other presidents who generally let their legacy breathe and kind of go off into the sunset and let someone else come into their role. So there's a very keen sense that if they don't get out there, someone else is going to write their story for them. And Jake, I have to say, I directly asked them about books coming out, thinking of your book that's coming out. I think this is something his team is thinking about and concerned about, and they want to be able to shape as much of a narrative in advance to get ahead of stories that you may be breaking in it. Yeah,
the book, Original Sin, comes out May 20th, so that's 12 days, I guess. Let's play part of that exchange.
What is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that, number one. You know, one of the things and
Alyssa, you know, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us.
So interesting observation, as if historians have to live in the White House in order to write about the White House, about any sort of presidency.
And Alex Thompson covered the White House.
Yeah, Alex covered it quite extensively.
Yeah, that moment, I think, it jumped out to me. I'm having worked in the first Trump administration. It's not just the people that absolute closest to the president, by the way, like a spouse that has an idea of what their general mental health is like every day, their ability to do the job, if they're stumbling in meetings. There's quite a few aides, if given access, who should have access to those things. And part of the question I asked and another colleague did is, was there an effort to kind of keep a tight-knit circle so any of these slip-ups wouldn't get out to the public? And my general sense is this. Listen, he is an older man. He acknowledged, look, I would have been 86 had I won a second term. He doesn't shy away from that. He does have slip-ups. That's something we've seen with Joe Biden. But I think this was very much an effort to signal I was fully in control when I was in office. And he kept pointing to, I wouldn't have been able to pass these many things he's proud of if that weren't the case.
Okay. Well, again, the more than 200 people that Alex Thompson and I interviewed, all of them Democrats, all of them supporters of Biden, will get to have their say starting next week. President Biden appeared in two segments.
And Jake, if I...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Well, if I could mention, I did ask specifically if, what his relationship was with President President Obama, who was reportedly somebody who behind the scenes was concerned about him. And he didn't answer the question directly. He gave a more generic response before the former First Lady stepped in. And I think that's something the public would really want to know. I mean, the most powerful force in Democratic politics of the last 30 years, Barack Obama, and the role he played in thinking he needed to step in because of his concerns over Joe Biden.
Yeah. The sources for our book were people who liked, if not loved, Joe Biden. But more on that when the book comes out. Alyssa Farah-Griffin, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. The British Prime Minister.
Yeah, I want to say, man, I was impressed with her line of questioning, and also the other whatever former Republican, now liberal or Rhino. I don't know what she is, right? I don't know, but she asked good questions. Unlike yeah. I was surprised that she asked tough questions of Joe Biden. And Joe Biden and Jill did their best not to answer. And Jill came through and played cleanup. Whenever Biden couldn't, get his thoughts out of his face, then she was there to kind of change the subject and throw shame on people. At one point, she even started playing a victim that people would even ask questions. Like, that's crazy. That's what interviews do. So, that's one thing. But, Jake Tapper, Jake, and I think there's other books that are coming out and people like blowing a whistle on this thing. And my thing is, where were y'all when all this was actually going down? Everybody's writing books now that he's out of power. I guess now he's safe to go after. But that's not what journalism's about. It's about going after, saying the thing when the thing is happening. We don't need your help now. He's out of power. He's out of office. He's gone. I mean, he should be gone. Well, you never know. Sometimes the turd comes back. But I think he's gone. So now everybody got courage juice. Got that liquid courage in them. You know what I'm saying? Drinking Bacardi Light. I want to point out something about my boy Jake Tapper here because he's got a new book coming out. I wonder how the book will be because I remember he was not always that good at the truth when it comes to this topic.
Stage, or they turn to him. I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
That's right, folks. That's Jake Tapper making excuses for Joe Biden. He's about to shame the hell out of this Trump person, Lord Trump. He's going to shame the hell out of Lord Trump for saying what he is himself now about to write. He's about to release a book on. She was saying it a couple years ago. And this Jake, that's the same guy. It's like, you're not tripping. You may have been high earlier, but you come down enough to know what's going on. You are in your right mind. Jake Tapper, the same guy who was just launching talking about his book, where he's going to expose how many people knew Trump. I'm sorry, they knew that Biden was over the rainbow, so to speak. Here he is right here, giving her all types of shade for doing the same thing, for calling it out. Then,
first and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
You are
to watch somebody on stage search for
this is so amazing.
questions
It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
a cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter.
Yeah,
I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Medical licenses, diagnosing.
And that's exactly what Jake Tapper's about to do in his book. Is going to diagnose Joe Biden's cognitive decline. He's going to come up with it. And what's he got? Does he have Joe Biden's personal doctors? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to read Jake Tapper's book, but I may get the Cliff Notes. And I would like to peruse it, and maybe some of you guys can help me out. Because I got a feeling Jake Tapper is not going to have Biden's personal physician to be able to give him definitive evidence that Joe Biden was a couple bottles short of a six-pack. He ain't going to be able to do it. But here he is.
Politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father-in-law from afar. I'm sure it offends you. You don't have any standing to say.
I'm not diagnosing him. What I'm saying, Jake,
you just talked
is
about
that
a cognitive decline.
See that Joe Biden
I have one last
struggling
question for you, Laura. You can't
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel sorry for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure.
Man, he talked over her, cut her off. He did everything he could to disrespect her and get her off the air. So what is different now? What is different now, Jake Tapper? Yeah, so that's what put out the hypocrisy of your media. You know what I'm saying? Because it's obvious here that Jake Tapper was not trying to have the truth be exposed on his show. And there was a reason for that. Biden was still president, I'm assuming. So this is the cowardice of cable news. But now, you want to be the man that's solving it. You know, if you lied for Biden, remember, it's not as if Jake Tapper didn't have eyes. It's not like he didn't have friends that also have eyes. It's not like he was in the dark about Joe Biden's position or his condition. He knew. He knew, folks, and he chose to do the cover up his damn self. And you would think somebody who did that, who partaketh in a cover-up, would be quiet. Because him talking about it only exposes himself for being a hypocrite. But no, not Jake Tapper. And that's the rest of these assholes. What they're doing is they're coming out anyway. They're like, well, I want to be a part of it. I want some shine. I want to make some money. I want to broaden my whatever image. Think about it. If you lied against someone, if you lied, but the truth come out, would you be so bold to run out and be like, I got a story to tell about the truth? Weren't you just lying? Nah, man, that's how it's not only that Jake Tapper is part of the cover-up. It's that he has the audacity to want to be on both sides of it. Someone let me know in the book when it comes out if you get it. Does Jake Tapper start the book off saying, you know what, guys, I was so wrong and I was a dumbass. I did the wrong thing. Jake Tapper, I'm a scumbag. I defended the indefensible, and the dangerous, and lied to the American people. While employers CNN put out propaganda to defend the administration against my better judgment, I did that and I own it. If he doesn't start his book like that, Anybody that watches him, that watches this segment, is a fool. Because we can't stop Jake Tapper. We ain't hire him. We don't put him on TV. They do. So we can't control if he's got a job, but we should be able to control if we ever support him. I'd rather you be wrong. And you can be wrong. You can stand up for somebody, but then don't have it both ways. At least have the decency to keep it moving. I'm telling you, man, I'm witnessing people be real scumbags. They want to be on both sides of everything. And if you say something, now they don't rock with you no more. Nah, man, I tell you, I'm standing up for Black America. Black America needs more champions, not less. Most of these people are too afraid to do that because they got career aspirations. Man, I'm on the other side of the rainbow coming down. I'm on the other hill coming down towards the finish line, baby. If I ain't willing to stand up, right? If I ain't willing to stand up 10 toes down, then what good am I? So it is what it is. I want people to be clear, man. Joe Biden, it's not just that Joe Biden's old. It's not just that he's an old man. It's not picking on an old man. It's picking on a decrepit, corrupt, lying system. Because see, I had somebody yesterday say, Tim Black, this doesn't seem right that everybody's piling on about his age. Nah, man, getting old is a blessing. Anyone who lives long enough to be an older person is fortunate. You get to see your children grow up. You get to witness that. Grandkids, the whole thing, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. I wish it for us all. But what you don't need to do is be an older person in cognitive decline and be having the responsibility of being the president of the United States. No one says you couldn't be an older person and be respected and deal with life and people not get on you and talk mess, but it's different if you are the president. Maybe not do those two things at the same time. The way Joe was going, I think he shouldn't be hired to be a greeter at Walmart. You telling people to go down the wrong aisles? You don't want him I don't want him bagging my bread and my eggs. You know damn well he gonna put that cooked ham on top of the bread. No. You need to do is be on a boat or sitting around, hiring young people to clean his Corvette. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever he does. Whatever people do. Go fishing. Enjoy your golden years. Don't be having nuclear codes. And more importantly, though you want to defend everybody except us, the American people, you thinking about Joe because you must be old. Think about us. There are older people in this country than even a president who can put two and two together and not be controlled by who knows who was running the country while we had check out Joe. Who was the president? Could have been anybody. I also want to point out this, which is even bigger than everything I've said. Let's stop acting like Joe Biden was a good person, he just got old. Joe Biden was a scumbag and a liar on his best day. I'm going to play a clip out Maze Moore. Maze is on X. Maze put out an amazing clip. I feel bad playing it without definitely giving him his props because this is putting in work. This is number 46. Not the one they propped up on The View yesterday on ABC.
When I was a law professor, been on a lot of university campuses. Matter of fact, for 4 years, I was a full professor at the University of Pennsylvania.
Here's a story that you told at least 3 times about Nelson Mandela. Take a look.
I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
I guess the question is, were you confused or were you just trying to embellish a story?
They think I'm kidding, man. Seems like yesterday, the first time I got arrested anyway. But I am a hard coal miner. Anthracite coal, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Hell, I might be president now if it weren't for the fact I said I had an uncle who was a coal miner. Turned out I didn't have anybody in the coal mines, you know what I mean?
Really?
I tried that crap, you know.
My dad was not a was he was a salesperson. He wasn't a coal miner. My great-grandpa was, but
I used to drive a tractor trailer.
Oh, awesome.
And so I know a little bit about driving big trucks.
No, that's great.
But,
and Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And it's the God's truth. My word is abiding.
He lied to voters, according to the New York Times, quoting aides of Biden's, about having marched in the civil rights movement. Advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement, and more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood and kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
And I'm not saying I am black, but I want to tell you something. I got started out of an HBCU, Delaware State. Now, I don't want to hear anything negative about Delaware State here, okay? I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home. That I quoted Robert Kennedy without attributing it to Robert Kennedy. I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, Mr. Biden used 5 pages of published law review article, of a published law review article without quotation or citation. That's precisely right. And I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer.
That's right, folks. Joe Biden on his best day, whether he was cognitively declined or not, he was still lying-ass Joe Biden. It's horrific, man. That's the guy. That's the guy that they were beating us up online about not supporting. That's the guy they said, if you ain't black, if you ain't vote for me, you ain't black. If you got to question that, you ain't black. That guy. Think about all the people that was around when he was doing these lies. Some people are young. They don't know about Joe Biden's lies. Oh, God. It's been well documented he was a big liar. And you know what? What are the people that defend the liar? What are they called? Liars too. All right, guys. Oh, I do want to finish with this. I got one last clip on this topic. It's Scott Jennings on CNN. Him and Anna Navarro got into it on this topic. It is very interesting.
Rare for me, but I did watch it.
That's what it is.
Watching him on The View today and watching some of the interviews he did over.
Thank you for your viewership.
Yeah, I saw it. It's rare for me, but I did watch it.
That's what it is.
I will just say, watching him over the last few days reminded me that a whole bunch of people were telling us with a straight face that this man was capable of serving another 4 years as president.
That is an important point. A very important point. It's not just that he was in office declined. He wanted to keep running. He wanted to go another 4 years. Think about that. We kind of missed that point because we're so like, oh man, I can't believe this guy was able to be president for 4 years. And if it was up to him, he'd have been president another 4 years. Well, if it was up to him in jail, he'd have been president another 4 years. That's what we need to keep wrapping our heads around. That's the real story. They were trying to enable him to be in office another 4 years where we don't know who was running what, who was making decisions. Think about that. They were lying to us all. They weren't holding no damn primaries. Come on. I'm hearing it took Obama and took Pelosi to get him up out of there. But think about that.
And these appearances, coupled with what I understand is going to be the equivalent of a nuclear bomb dropped on the Democratic Party when Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson's book come out next week. I don't know that the Democrats have fully internalized what's about to happen to them. Between what he looks like today and what they're about to report, get ready.
I am not sure that Joe.
You just said that
what did he not say?
You said that he told Kamala Harris that she could not have any distance
False.
from him.
It's been reported. He told
it doesn't
her
matter what he
point
was.
blank. He told her point blank, no daylight, kid, no daylight.
Because reporting can never be wrong?
Are you attacking the journalism around it?
You think reporting can never be wrong?
If you want to be anti-journalism, I'll be
you come on here
pro-journalism.
and you attack reporting every night.
I do not.
We actually asked him the
there's
question
critical
directly.
reporting about this guy,
Okay.
and he told her point
well,
blank,
we asked
no
him,
daylight.
We asked him directly today.
Right.
Did you tell her
You
that?
think he's ever told a lie?
I don't think he tells many lies.
Cognitive decline, I can tell you that much.
I don't think he tells many lies. I don't think he's done a...
Come on.
Well, wait.
You just hear that in Navarro? She just said, I don't think he tells many lies. What did I just play for everyone here? I played a compilation of him telling the hugest lies, where he fashioned himself a member of the Puerto Rican community, where he said, and I quote, well, close to a quote, he marched for civil rights, that he got locked up with Mandela or something in Soweto. What? He admits to plagiarizing. He admits to lying about working as a coal miner. He admits to doing all those lies. He said, yeah, I tried all those things. I lied about all this stuff. He had to drop out of the presidential race for lying, for plagiarizing his speech. It was so embarrassing. Before my time, but I read about it. Some things will be before your time. Doesn't mean they're not relevant. He's always been that guy. He was a liar in his 30s. He was a big liar in his 30s, guys. He's still a liar in his 80s. And Anna Navarro is a liar too, and she defends him. She's a despicable person. Get tired of people talking, oh, Anna Navarro's good. What? At what? Lying? Listen to her defend Biden's lies. Look, if you want to defend Biden out of office lying, just imagine all the lies she defended while he was in office. Jesus Christ.
You think he's ever told a lie?
I don't think he tells many lies.
Cognitive decline, I can tell you that much.
I don't think he tells many lies. I don't think he's done a...
Come on.
Well, wait. No, you know...
I noticed Bakari Sellers is quiet. That's not something that always happens. There's a reason why he's quiet. I'm going to give it to him. He's being quiet. He's not jumping in and trying to save a Joe.
You know why you don't get to laugh like that? Because you support a guy who lies every freaking day and lies continuously. You support a guy who cannot acknowledge that he lost the 2020 election and that lies about it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's in Jake Have you read it? Have you read it?
Guys, we gotta go.
That's right, Johnson.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
As usual, because they don't really have a comeback, they have no response for you. All they can do is Trump bad, Trump evil, Trump Hitler, Mussolini, Idi Amin. That's all they got. That's all they got. Once cornered, once nothing to say. She did the same thing with Shamichael Singleton. Once cornered. But what about black people? Black people. Just the black went and got the black gun off the shelf. Started shooting the black gun at a black man about blackness. It's if you don't know about blackness. Here we go again. Go-to, man. The go-to. I tell people, man, look, hey, I'm a Democratic Party hater. I didn't start that way. They helped me to it. Yeah. They helped me to it. I got the diagnosis, and it was that they were full of crap. So that's where we are, guys. Anything else left? I think that's it. I think, yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Notice, guys, notice, Abby Phillip and Bakari Sellers both were quiet like, dude, we're going to let you down that hill by yourself, sister. Yeah, go ahead and die out there by yourself, Anna. I don't know, maybe Abby watched my video quietly 3 o'clock in the morning while she drank some Chardonnay or something. Well, I told her, stop sticking up for the white lady with a taco because she's a liar. Told her, stop doing it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad enough that you're going to curry water for what you're going to curry water for. Don't stick up for people that got their own show that can do their line on their own network. Maybe she got the memo, the Tim Black memo. All right, guys, now would be a good time to hit the like button for the show, man. Let people know that you're watching. the Tim Black Show here on the Tim Black TV program here on these platforms, YouTube, Facebook, X. Don't forget, go to timblackmug.com, order a mug. Also, maybe you're not a coffee drinker. Maybe you got enough wine glasses, coffee mugs. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Starting only $5 a month. Go to jointimblack.com. Support independent media that gets it right more times than not. And when we get it wrong, we'll be there to tell you we got it wrong. We ain't going to wait till people come out and say, oh, gosh. You ain't going to have to put out a compilation by Maze Moore on X for me to get it. Because we're not above making mistakes, but we are above lying to defend these damn parties. So become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack by going to jointimblack.com or go to Patreon, Tim's Take Live, Patreon/Tim's Take Live. You can also join us here on YouTube. We got a lot of great content coming, Johnson. Yeah, I got some great guests coming up. Tomorrow, my guest will be the real Dana. The real Dana, and we're going to pre-record this. We're going to have a great conversation, hopefully. I'm confident it'll be a great conversation. Because she ain't no wallflower, man. She's serious business. Dana with the dad is coming on over here. Give it up for Dana with the dad. So we're gonna do that, you know. One of my goals is to do longer form content with interesting people and just have great conversations about that. Put it down, Johnson. So I'm fortunate enough to have her tomorrow scheduled, and I'll keep you posted. But if you're part of the Tim Black Wolfpack, you'll get first access. That's right, you'll get first access, and you'll get some behind-the-scenes stuff. Yeah, some behind-the-scenes stuff. So do that. So that's one of the perks of being a Tim Black Wolfpack member. Once again, go to jointimblack.com for that, and you know what to do. You know what to do, Johnson. Join and become a member. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Now, so we've been covering the story of Ryan Henson. Can't miss it. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about Ryan Henson. And, and at the root of it, it's a young man who was 18 years old who lost his life. And they say, I don't say this, they say, hey, he had a gun, he had it in his hand, and then the police officer thought he pointed the gun at him. I looked at the clip several times. I see no gun, and I see nothing being pointed at the officer whatsoever. In fact, I see a scared young man who didn't even see the cop when he was running, but wasn't even running towards the cop. He was running towards the woods, and the cop shot him in the back 4 times. That's what I saw. But at the root of all of that is this idea that he had a gun. He had a gun, so we had no choice. And even the grandfather, Rodney Henson Sr., got up on a press conference and he said, I saw 2 people afraid. My grandson was afraid, and the officer was afraid. Good people, both afraid. Hey, look, man, I want to give grace to anybody who lost a child. I know what it's like. So I'm not saying he's not entitled to feel the way he feels, but I feel a certain kind of way about that type of narrative. Now, I understand he may be having different reasons for his drawing that conclusion, but I think it's way past time that black people stop doing that. We get killed so often by cops, and particularly when they don't have any proof. Show me the proof first. Prove what you're saying. Look, I understand a person wants to fight for their life. Someone's afraid for their life. Ever been afraid for your life? Yeah, okay. I have. Ever had anybody pull a gun on you? I have. I know what that's like. No fun at all. If I had a gun, they would have been gone. So I get that, but that's not what I saw. You don't get to just make up stuff in your mind. It's crazy. We got a party that doesn't want to believe people who say, if a man says, I feel like I'm a woman, you don't want to believe that. But you'll believe an officer who conjures up ideas of people with guns in their hands when they don't exist in real life. So it's F your feelings when you want to talk about how an individual feels who ain't hurt nobody. Yeah, I'm going there. And you know, I typically do not do this, but the hypocrisy is so thick, it's led me to this. So let me get this right, conservatives, and those who think it's okay for cops to shoot unarmed people and claim fear, and there be no gun in their hand at the time, pointed at them. Matter of fact, Ohio is an open carry state, so that ain't even enough for you to say he had a gun. You got to say he was pointing a gun, because Ohio has a lot of people with guns. But my point is this: you would deny a person minding their own business who says, I want to be seen as this gender. This is how I want to identify. You say, screw you. I see you as a guy, and I'm going to call you a guy. But if an officer says that black man that I had to shoot 4 times had a gun pointed at me, and I say, hey, I don't see a gun in his hand, you go, but you got to believe the officer. See, you're not a patriot. You're only doing that because it's black. Now I'm doing it because I don't see a gun in his hand. The same way you don't see breasts on that man or a uterus on that man. You can't see his uterus. But the same way you see a guy when you saw that Adam's apple. So you want it both ways. That's why I call you a bigot. Or racist. Or just straight up a liar. But bigger than that, a coward who won't admit any of the above. To that point, I saw this clip floating around on X. It's a very interesting clip of a white man pointing a gun at a cop, and nothing happens.
Watch him pull an AR-15 on the highway patrol.
The driver pulled over for speeding, pointed a rifle at a highway patrol officer yesterday. CHP says it happened just north of Reading on I-5. An officer stopped a vehicle on the Mountain Gate off-ramp. The driver, they say, got out of the car, pointed the AR-style assault rifle toward the officer. Officials say the suspect re-entered his vehicle and then they started pursuit. Vehicle continued southbound, driving at varying speeds before exiting the freeway at Oasis, continuing for about 2 miles west before stopping near Vigil Court. The suspect taken into custody, booked into Shasta County Jail.
What the f***? Watch him pull an AR-15 on the highway patrol.
And he's alive to tell about it. He's alive and well. He went into custody. You knew he had a gun when you were pulling him over, and you weren't even afraid then. Not only were you not afraid when he had the gun pointed at you, just backed away and let him go, but then when you caught up with him, finally, miles later, no one was so afraid that they shot him. And he had pointed a gun. That's the cop. He got out the car and pointed the gun. But for some reason, that officer was not afraid. Folks, what I'm getting to is this. Not everything can be compared to each other. You know, we got apples and oranges and apples and oranges. But for the love of all things righteous, are we going to just admit that cops choose what they do? They choose what they do. They make a decision. A lot of this comes down to a cop just decided not to end you. And another cop decided to take a life. Period. Period. I don't care if there's crocodile tears later from that officer. They made a decision. And what I'm saying is, those decisions are made biasly. Anybody with the audacity to get out of their car with a gun extended, pointed at the cop, and lives to tell the tale. So as y'all want to make this claim that, whatever this is, we be over-exaggerating where we want to play victim. We all know that's reactionary nonsense, right? We know that. We don't listen. I don't listen to it. But this is a perfect example of cops making the decision to save a guy's life. And look, and I'm glad he saved the guy's life. Obviously, the guy didn't shoot the cop. Obviously, the cop made the right decision because he's alive and so is the guy. And that's the better outcome. You know, I would rather that outcome be the outcome. Okay? But see, that's the same outcome I want for us. That's all. I'm not saying go shoot white guys. I'm saying stop shooting black kids. Stop shooting black men. That's all. That's it. I'm not saying you got to go, eye for an eye, you got to go shoot white guys. Why aren't you shooting white guys? You better shoot more white guys. Nah, how about nobody gets shot? If you ain't going to shoot white guys, stop shooting black guys. And hell, stop shooting the Latinos too. I know a lot of times you can't tell if they're white or black, but you know. Just so make sure you don't stop shooting Asians. Stop shooting everybody. How about nobody gets shot who's not an imminent threat? It's what people imagine. And that's giving you, and you know what? And that is giving you all types of benefit of the doubt. Because I could just call you a race soldier and be done with you. The same way you stereotype us. All right, folks, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I mean, folks, I think it's obvious. I think it's obvious. You got to have your head up your... All right, let's go. All right. Hit the like button, folks, and hit the share button if you're on the platform to let people know about this. We want them to know about the Tim Black Show. We try to say things originally. We don't watch other people's content and then recite it. There are people that are doing that. A lot of people doing that. You won't get far. Because you got to wait for me to do it for you to copy it. It's already out. I just did it. See? Stealing. It's not good. Next, guys. Let's go to next. Let's go next. What else we got?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Oh, in this segment, man, I want to point this out because this is horrific here. I don't know what people are thinking, fam. There are liars in Congress, and we know all politicians lie, but Jesus Christ, the level of lies, horrific.
Bill that cuts a minimum of $880 billion from Medicaid, a program that serves 33 million kids across the country. This is a bill that is going to allow the Trump administration to continue to destroy all of the federal agencies, gets rid of the Department of Education. In the Judiciary Committee tomorrow, we're going to be debating the judiciary parts of this. This is, again, sort of green-lighting the mass deportations of U.S. citizens, legal permanent residents, others. So no, I don't think that you can start to try to have a compromise on a bill that destroys the economy for the American people, that cuts Social Security and Medicare, which Elon Musk called the great big ones that we have to eliminate. This is not a bill that is in any way going to help the American people. If Republicans wanted to put forward a bill that helped the American people, that actually cut costs for Americans, that raised...
I want you to look at the eyes and look at the body language of this grandma lying through her teeth. Very confidently, look at her. That's what I just want you to really pay attention to this. Pramila Jayapal is lying, boldly lying without flinching.
This is not a bill that is in any way going to help the American people. If Republicans wanted to put forward a bill that helped the American people, that actually cut costs for Americans, that raised taxes so that the rich finally pay their fair share instead of getting giant tax breaks, then sure, we would be interested in talking about that. But that's not the bill we have before us, Boris. So I think you can expect a wholesale opposition to cutting Medicaid, Social Security, Medicare, the Department of Education, everything that they are doing.
Just to be precise, Congresswoman, I believe that in that soundbite, Elon Musk was talking about fraud in those entitlement programs being the big ones that they have to tackle.
No, that's not.
That's what he said in that soundbite. We can go back and find it, and we'll exchange emails, and you'll see that what he was talking about specifically in that soundbite that I believe you're referring to is fraud. And President Trump has said that he will not sign anything that cuts Medicaid, though it is true that the committee that oversees Medicaid has outlined $880 billion in cuts. How they make that math work is a question for Republicans.
Look, this is a
I've been reporting this for a while, and unfortunately, we can't get the reach, and there's a reason why we can't get the reach, right? Because if we got the reach, then people might become educated. Trump has said several times not cutting Medicare, not cutting Social Security. Elon Musk was saying he's going to cut the fat, not the program. So they want to scare that. They've been trying to scare people. And as he pointed out, scare people saying they're going to cut the benefits, and that's not the case at all. That's never been on the table. That's never been what Trump ran on. And that's not even what Elon's talking about. He's talking about cutting the corruption, the waste, the bloat. That's what they want to cut. And she knows that. But she will have to come on TV and scare the hell out of older Americans and other Americans who depend on these benefits. That's what she'd rather do, because that's all the Democrats got left. And it's a horrible thing, folks. It's a horrible thing to have my mom, your mom, or your grandmom, to have people who benefit or who need these benefits in order to make their lives work. To have them going to bed at night afraid or worried or feeling doomed or depressed, all because the Democrats lost an election. Because that's all it is. They lost an election, so now it's lying time. Disney did not come out with a new movie, but they are the Lion King. 2025 edition. And that's all they're doing. People say, Tim Black, why are you such a Democratic Party hater? Here goes one reason. This right here. Oh, the other side lies too. Yeah, but they do too. So that's why I'm not a Democrat, and that's why I don't support them. Big bogus lies. And they do this on all types of issues. She caught dead to rights on national TV on an interview. Lying. And she said that lie several times. And folks, she did not blink saying that lie. She didn't miss a beat. She was very much committed to the lie. She was in lie mode. Lie a la mode.
That cuts Social Security and Medicare, which Elon Musk called the great big ones that we have to eliminate.
Yeah, he said eliminate the fraud, the waste, and abuse. He didn't say eliminate the program. No one said eliminate the program. Look at her.
And Medicare, which Elon Musk called the great big ones that we have to eliminate. People that cuts Social Security and Medicare, which Elon Musk called the great big ones that we have to eliminate. This is not a bill that is in any...
Yeah, Johnson. Anyway, I just want to point that out. Share this content across your social media. Let people know that the truth is being exposed right here on the Tim Black Show. We ain't in it for parties. We're in it for the people. That's it. It's for politics for the people. This is a Tim Black Show shirt. Politics for the people. You can see that clearly down here. That's all we do. We give America the truth it deserves, the raw truth it deserves. We ain't in it for parties. We ain't in it for appearances on CNN, hoping that we can move up in the MSNBC and be able to sit over there with Simone Sanders and Michael Steele and be a fool and dance down the aisle or whatever the hell they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, Johnson. I ain't trying to kiss Roland Martin's ass for an opportunity to get in front of his audience. I'm going to get in front of his audience with the truth from this platform. Not going to have to kiss his ass. And he can send whatever flunky he wants. Because he sent a flunky at me on another program. Yeah, I figured that one out, Roland. Went through an elaborate scheme to get me on a program that had a bunch of Rollandites on it. Set me up. All right, Roly. Polly. That's it, guys. Let's go to the next thing. I ain't gonna stay there, guys. Don't forget, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. I got another story, guys. How we looking for time? We're doing pretty good on a Friday night. This is a big story. So we're gonna cover it bigly. Okay, so we have, let's just go to the clip. Baraka, Newark, New Jersey, arrested. Why? Storming an ICE detention center. Let's get into it, folks.
3 members of Congress like this and a mayor, the mayor of the largest city in New Jersey. They will treat anybody any kind of way. They are. Each and every day, they are treating people with no respect, no dignity, and they are reckless and unhinged. And we will not stand for this. Right now, we want our mayor released. Right now. Right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the weaponization of law enforcement in the United States of America. Do you understand what that means? That means that none of us are safe. We will not accept this.
Democratic members of Congress from New Jersey today protesting the arrest of Newark Mayor Ross Baraka at an ICE facility this afternoon. We're joined by one of those members of Congress, New Jersey Congressman Robert Menendez. Congressman, just take me through what happened today.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me on because I think it's important to clear the record about what happened. So myself, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, and Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman appeared at Delaney Hall. Now, as members of Congress, we have a statutory right to make an unannounced visit to any ICE facility, which we've done previously at the Elizabeth Detention Center, and that was our intention today at Delaney Hall, a recently opened, privately run detention center in the city of Newark. We were allowed in. We were told to wait for ICE brass from Newark to arrive. We were sitting there for over an hour. So for the people out there who are saying this was a staged protest or a demonstration, it's just not accurate. We were waiting to perform our oversight function as we were statutorily allowed to do. What happened as we were sitting there when it reached the hour and a half point was the ICE brass that we had been waiting for came into the small waiting room that we were sitting in, walked by us and walked towards the gate that we came into. I followed them, as did the other 2 Congress members, and that is when we found out or realized that Mayor Baraka was there. And what happened after that was something that I never thought I would see in this country. Mayor Baraka was told he was trespassing. There was a conversation with ICE. Eventually, Mayor Baraka goes back onto the public side of the gate. The gate closes, and that should have been the end of it. But ICE and a member of the ICE team that was there was on the phone with someone who told the person there, even though Mayor Baraka was on the public side of the fence, to go arrest him. And then they opened the gate up. There were over 20 armed ICE agents, over 20, and there's video. So it's clear to see there's a mayor of the largest city in New Jersey, 3 members of Congress, over 20 armed agents and additional ICE officials there. And then that is when they arrested Mayor Baraka. And there was an immense amount of physical interaction, not just with myself, but with Congresswoman Watson-Coleman and with Congresswoman McIver.
We played some sound of yours from earlier, and passions were very high. I just want to make sure I understand the facts. So you're saying that the mayor was not trespassing other than that period when he went into the gate, but then came back out, and so that when he was arrested, he was outside of the gate? I want to do my best to understand the facts.
That's correct. So what you'll see is when he's on the side of the gate that the public can go to, right? So when we got there, this is important, there was maybe 3 people there, right? We went inside and were there for over an hour and a half. When we came back, that's when we saw the mayor. The mayor left to go back to the public side of the gate. My understanding is that he was allowed in. And when I say allowed in, I mean no more than 3 steps onto the other side of the gate when ICE approached him about having to leave because he was trespassing. He goes to the other side of the gate, back to the public side, right? The gate closes. Again, that's where this all should have ended. But instead, they chose to open the gate back up, leave the ICE area to the public side, and that's where they arrested him and put him in handcuffs. And that should all be on video. And it's a pretty clear record, despite what the administration's trying to say, and despite what Fox News and others are trying to say.
Hey, Congressman, it's John Heilman. I just want to ask you
Okay, I want to point this out, man, because what I find funny, fam, is you just said he trespassed. If you trespass, you can get locked up for that. It's not like he's in jail now. He got arrested for trespassing, right? Am I tripping? Did he just admit the guy broke the law? Wow. Leave it to a black man to remind another black man that breaking the law may result in prison or being arrested. You mean the mayor didn't know that trespassing could caught? I just want to be clear, guys. They said it very plainly.
There was an immense amount of physical interaction, not just with myself, but with Congresswoman Watson-Coleman and with Congresswoman McIver.
We played some sound of yours from earlier, and passions were very high. I just want to make sure I understand the facts. So you're saying that the mayor was not trespassing other than that period when he went into the gate, but then came back out. And
doesn't that sound a little convoluted? He was only trespassing when he was trespassing. But then he stopped trespassing and they still arrested him. Oh, you mean what happens to anybody who trespasses? So let me get this right. Let's say, I don't know, maybe one of our kids goes into a place they're not supposed to go into. Then they leave out of it. And then the security shows up. Hey, were you just in there? Yeah. You're saying they can't be arrested for that? That's what you're saying. That's what all this is about. That's what all the hubbub is about. It's about a mayor who went down to do a dumb stunt, who went in a place he wasn't supposed to go in, who knew he wasn't supposed to go there, does it anyway. Which only gives him more of a media, because I don't even pay attention to this guy. And that's what all the talk is about. That's why it's trending on X. Don't get me wrong, I like things to trend on X. I like things to trend on Google, help my YouTube algorithm thing. I like it. I'm in that business. But I'm saying, wait, I got to tell the people the truth that this is a bunch of BS. Isn't it, folks?
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Here goes the guy. Let's see.
We're in the gate. We're in the gate.
That's the mayor right there.
Now circle the mayor. 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 Circle the mayor.
So he broke the law, came back out, and they said, go get them people that broke up in here. Go get him. And it's like, oh no, we got to defend him. Why'd he go up in there? See, this is the thing, man. The Democrats are so performative. Look, guys, I said the same thing about Al Green. Some people were upset. Well, Tim, they arrested Al Green. Representative Al Green that showed his ass at the State of the Union address, who went to the State of the Union to show up, to show off, to show out, to interrupt it, to do a protest against Trump live for the whole world to see. He did not get arrested. He got kicked out. He did the protest to get kicked out. He gets kicked out. Then he goes the next day on every network that'll see him and say, I got kicked out because I was black, which is a total misuse of blackness. Because his intention was to get kicked out. He did the thing to get kicked out. Same thing with A.B. Baraka, this guy. He goes in, he trespasses. He doesn't leave after he trespasses. He stays. They come get him. Now, I don't know. Now it's going to be, but he black and they did that because no. A lot of things happen because you're black. Some things happen because you did them intentionally folks that keep saying they keep using it. They're using it to help the party. They're not trying to help us. Barack knew what he did. They all knew what he did. They knew what the cops were coming to do because they knew what was done. It wasn't a surprise. They're not like, why are they coming out here? The reason why no one's surprised that this guy's getting arrested right here, guys.
Circle the mayor. Circle the mayor. Circle the mayor.
It's because they know he broke the law. That's what they know. And man, don't make me have to be a law and order guy, man. They making me be a law and order guy. They are defending him and standing around him because they know he broke the law. And he know he broke the law. But then they're going to go on all the news channels and go, we didn't break the law. We didn't do nothing. If that's the case, why you got your hands behind your back already? I know how people act like when they ain't done nothing. They don't put their hands behind their back before people even say, put your hands behind your back. They already got their hands behind their back because it's a protest. The intentions were to get locked up, to make a statement, to get the news cycle, to point out whatever they wanted to point out. This is what activism does. When black people set out, when black people did sit-ins, they knew they were going to get locked up. That's the purpose. But these new Democrats are so lame, guys. They do an active thing, an active protest of civil disobedience. And when it's time to pay, they claim victim.
Circle the mayor. Circle the mayor.
Now they trying to get people locked up for obstruction. No, you gonna have to go ahead. I'm sure the mayor got bail money. I ain't got no bail money. You have to go ahead and do that.
Don't touch me.
They're gonna get between the ICE and the mayor and then say, don't touch me. Get what I'm saying? If this is not the lamest, I don't think I've seen more lame activity. You're lucky no one got the bully clubs out and start playing bongos on some heads. Some Al Jarreau. Have a little fun with it this Friday. Start playing some Chuck Brown on that head, some Air Raid, some Ray Essence, Junkyard. We on the front porch for real. We outside.
Off of me. Get your hands off of me.
Look at all this showboat nonsense.
Get your hands off of me.
Look at my man. That's the man in there that's trying to fight to get into the shot. I want to get in this shot. Look at it. Look at it right here. He's trying to get in. I want to get in. I want to be up. I'm supposed to be representing. Lock me up too. I want news cycle. And then they take them to jail. Look, man, I support activism. You wanna speak out against something if you're actually sincere about it and that's what you're trying to do it for a greater cause. I support that all day, man. I will always support activism. Okay, I support that. But my thing is, I don't like bogus activism. I don't like hypocrisy and I don't like lies. And that's what this is. This is bogus nonsense. And playing victim after you initiated the whole thing. The entire thing is is being initiated. And I know a little bit about this, man. I've been an activist. I've been at events. I've done events. I've spoken at places like this. All types of stuff I've done. I've had a storied career here in media. I remember we were at the Capitol. We were giving speeches at the Capitol. This is when the 2016 election, we were against Hillary. We were trying to get rid of, And there was one guy there who was trying to get us to jump into the, what's that pond? The pond? What's that shit? I know it's bad. I'm from here, but, it's by the Capitol. It's got they call it the pond. Some pond. It's that big structure. It's a man-made little pond thing here in the Capitol. He was like, hey, man, we need to all go jump in that so that they'll arrest us so we get some publicity. I'm like, school me. I didn't come here to get arrested. Me and my son, school me, Skip. Oh, come on, Skip. I was like, nah, man, nah. I came here to do a speech, take pictures, interview a couple people. I ain't come here to go get locked up. He's like, come on, man. We got to get locked up. White dude with long hair. Come on, man. We got to get locked up for the cause. We got to get locked up. Arn, that's his name. Arn was like, we got to get locked up, baby. Got to get locked up for the progressive cause. I was like, you're going to be getting locked up by yourself. My son was like 16. He was filming the whole thing. You can get locked up by yourself. That's what you're going to do. I'm going home. I got a black wife, a black house, a black car, black kids. I'm going home. I'm out of my black business and going home. So I know a little bit about this. Acting like David. So here's the thing. And to double down on why this is so horrendous, guys, is that there's a lot of things going on. If you want to go to ICE and you want to make sure people are being treated right, okay, fine. I understand that. I get it. On its face, that sounds admirable. You care about people, human rights and all. I get that. This is why it's a problem. This is why it's hypocritical as hell, folks. I looked at some facts about Newark, okay? Over the past decade, several issues and controversies have been reported regarding Newark's correctional facilities. Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. I have on my phone all this information about how Newark's correctional facilities are horrible. But guess where Baraka's not at? Mayor Baraka. He's not there. He's here. Because he's being a Democratic soldier, a Democratic Party soldier. He don't care about people in jail. I mean, not American citizens in jail. But he can't go here in front of cameras to do this, to try to hurt Trump, to get a news cycle to help benefits the party that's going to help them in the midterms. It's all a game. Because if he cared about people's human rights in our facilities, he'd be at the Newark, he'd be in Newark's correctional facilities, particularly Northern State Prison and the Essex County Correctional Facility. Here go notable scandals. 2023 to 2024. We're not going back to the 90s, the early 2000s. I said I'm looking at the last decade. Here we go. Last year, Northern State Prison, the New Jersey Office of Corrections released a report following hundreds of complaints at Northern State Prison, which reopened in 2023. Suicides and mental health. Reports of suicides raised concerns about inadequate mental health support, plumbing and infrastructure. Backups in sales led to unsanitary conditions. Baraka's not there to look for the suicides, the mental health, to protect the mental health of those American citizens that are incarcerated, or the plumbing that's backed up in the sales. Drug use and air quality. Significant drug use caused smoke-related issues. So much drugs is being used in the prisons that people are getting sick from secondhand smoke. You know how much smoke you got to smoke in a prison that you ain't even supposed to have drugs? That people are getting that sick in the prisons from the drugs. Not the people doing the drugs, the people that are being exposed to it. Where's Baraka? You think Baraka's going down and take a look at this stuff? No, he's not. So all I'm saying is if you cared about prisons, if you cared about that the prisons were right, because they started it off saying, well, we have a right to go to the prisons and look, we get to show up. Well, why aren't you showing up at the regular prisons? Why aren't you caring about that? Oh, that's right. Not a part of the Democratic Party playbook. See, our regular prisons are bad enough, Johnson. Despite making only 5% of the globe's population, the U.S. has 20% of the prison population. You already know that. We got the racial disparities. We got the violence statistics. We got state-specific crises, healthcare neglect, the financial burdens, recidivism crisis, and of course, we got the technical violations that put people right back in the system. I'm not saying Mayor Baraka doesn't have a leg to stand on when he wants to point out problems in our system. Why isn't he pointing them out when it pertains to general population of American citizens suffering in those same conditions? Because, folks, this is all about politics. And look, I know some of you get it, but there are people that don't get it. They think when the Democrats do things, they're doing it because they care. If they care, they'd be over here concerned with U.S. prisons. Prisons that just house regular American citizens. Aren't we worthy of being cared about? You think that they're biased, that they really care about the Latinos or the migrants or whoever these people are? You think they really care about it? Or is it just a way to score a political point? I think you should know the answer to that question, but what I'm saying is it's pretty clear to me that they don't care about the issue. What they care about is making a splash. One last one. Essex County Correctional Facility. For the last 10 years, from 2011 to 2021, the GEO Group lawsuit, the GEO Group, a private prison company, filed a federal lawsuit in April 2024 to reopen Delaney Hall. It's one of their detention centers, the 600. The law challenges New Jersey's 2020 law banning these detention centers. So I get the detention centers have been a problem in Newark. They've been a problem for a long time, for 10 years. But now they want to come take a look with cameras. Now they want to go to jail for it. Now they want to get locked up. What I'm saying is the problem with the detention centers that make you want to take a look is valid, but it's been valid for a decade. And why is he now taking a look? Why didn't he want to take a look when Biden was president? Why didn't Mayor Baraka want to go to jail over the detention centers under Biden or under Obama? Because they've been having problems. It's been controversial since 2011 under Obama and under Biden. No Baraka going to jail for it. I don't think maybe he wasn't mayor. But any of these guys, whatever. Where's the coverage of you giving a damn before now? And that's the point. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Look, man, we ain't going to agree on everything, but we got to agree on not being suckers. Can we agree on that? Can we agree we're not going to sit back and be suckered and play like a fiddle, lose friendships, piss off family members who don't agree with you, or kissing the butts of Democrats, the denial of reality? I'm not saying go become a Republican. I'm saying be a thinking person that stands on your own and makes up your own mind and does not fall in line with propaganda or nonsense like this. Because this is nonsense. Nothing wrong with being an activist. We need more activists. What we don't need is hacktivist. Baraka is a hacktivist. Playing to the cameras for effect to try to help themselves politically. Scumbaggery. And when you see it, you got to call it out. When you see it, don't act like it doesn't exist. Accept what it is, call it out for what it is, and tell them like I do. Kicketh, rocketh. Kick rocks. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'm glad you were here tonight. Thank you for tuning into the Tim Black Show. Why come they couldn't cover that segment? I tell you, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. There's so much information I left on the cutting room table. Oh, man. All the problems at those correctional facilities, good stuff. And you know, you can do that with anything, with all these demonstrations, all these things that the Democrats are calling out. It don't take much to find an argument to it. All you got to do is know about it and look it up. It's right there, guys. I want to encourage anybody to speak truth to power because we need it. These people are full of it. All right. Where are we at, guys? Where are we at? Who's here in the house? Once again, we got Black Mamba helping us out. Go to timblackmug.com. Get your mug. Order it. 20 to your door, family. 20 to your door, free shipping. Need to stress the free shipping part. You're right. Aileen Dorsey. Oh, my goodness. I got an extra innings. I think I got an extra innings, man. Something about this Canadian news story. I didn't know about this, Johnson, because a lot of people, you know, it's just this thing that people say about Canada. Let me do this. Shout out to the bass man. The bass man, fam.
Good morning. Here's a moment in white history. Have you ever wondered how we found out the proper amount of vitamins, nutrients, minerals, or calories we needed to consume in a day in order to survive? You can thank Dr. Lionel Bradley Pett, who found out exactly what it took to keep the human body alive by starving native children to death. The experiments were performed by the Department of Indian Affairs of Canada under the direction of two physicians. One, Dr. Percy Moore, the Indian Affairs Branch Superintendent of Medical Services, and Dr. Frederick Tisdale, a famed nutritionist and former president of the Canadian Pediatric Society. The First Nations nutrition experiments, as they were called, were a series of experiments run in Canada by the Department of Pensions and National Health, now known as Health Canada, in the 1940s and 50s. At the lowest estimates, these experiments were conducted on at least 1,300 indigenous people, with at least 1,000 of them being children. In these experiments, parents were not informed, nor was their consent given. In the 1940s, Canadian officials became aware that Native children in these residential schools were malnourished. So the Canadian government sent researchers to figure out why these Indigenous children were malnourished. Meanwhile, this evil bastard wanted to know what the recommended intake for different vitamins and minerals should be. He saw the hunger and malnutrition at residential schools as an opportunity to figure out just what the human body needed to survive. So in 1947, he began conducting experiments on about 1,000 children in 6 residential schools across the country. Instead of giving these innocent children food to treat their malnutrition, he gave them supplements like riboflavin and thiamine to see if it would mitigate these problems. It did not. In another experiment, instead of giving these innocent children food to eat, he gave them pieces of enriched bread, thinking that that would improve their malnutrition. It did not. They became anemic and they died. Even though indigenous children were dying, they still continued these experiments. Most of these innocent children were so malnourished that their teeth would fall out, but they wouldn't take them to a dentist because they wanted to see the effects of malnutrition on gum health. Over 1,000 indigenous children were starved to death in these residential schools, and the experiments kept going. Why? Because they were already marginalized and vulnerable. Nobody was looking out for the best interest of these children. They had no voice and no one to advocate for their best interest. It's because of the starvation and deaths of innocent indigenous children that we now know exactly how many calories, vitamins, nutrients, and minerals the human body needs to stay alive. And that's how the death...
Okay, guys, I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not sure. First of all, go see Levert the Bassman on TikTok, man. He's amazing. He's been doing great content. I've been watching him and following him for a number of years on TikTok. One of the first people I started following, man. He's also on X, but he don't ever be there. But yeah, Levert the Bassman. Yeah, looks like Canada had their own Tuskegee experiments with the indigenous people there. Yeah, in Canada. So yeah, the Canadians are racist bastards too, eh? Yeah, I'm sorry, Aileen. I didn't mean I don't know if that's what you were expecting me to. I said I had a Canada story to show. I don't know if you were expecting that. Megs gave 5 gifts out. Go ahead, Megs. Thank you, Megs, for supporting the show. I appreciate you. From Downtown 296, appreciate the person who gifted me a channel membership. Somebody gave me the hookup, man. Thanks from Downtown 296, fam. Appreciate you. And Black Mamba gave out another membership. Thank you, Black Mamba. I appreciate you. That's all I got, folks. It's been a great week, man. We made it through another week. We told the truth and shamed the devil, and weren't afraid to speak truth to power, man. What more could you ask for on a Friday night, y'all? All right. So thank y'all for being here. Remember, like I always say, don't let anybody take your corn bread. Thank you, Tim Black's Wolfpack, for all you do. All my current members of the Wolfpack, man. Thanks for supporting this show. Thanks to everybody who shared something, who gave a super chat, who did anything to promote this content. We doing the good work. We ain't just talking about it, we being about it, y'all. Peace, y'all. Number love. Wow. They watch the kids starve. I mean, yo. Where my ladies at? Where my girls at? Where my ladies at? Where my girls at? Oh, that's right. There they go. You didn't catch me.